Hey everyone, it's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Cards, and I want to do this VR for Ol'SargeCollects. Check out his channel if you're not subscribed to him. Great channel. And you want to know about the two teams that we cheer for, that we root for, and why, and then to show some cards of that team. And I'm actually going to do three. I'm going to do three teams, and this first one is the Milwaukee Braves, and it's my historical favorite team, and really the reason why goes back to my dad. I was born in 1962, so I really don't remember the Milwaukee Braves, but my dad was born in 1937, played baseball growing up in the 40s and early 50s, and in 1951-52 we had a job stocking shelves at a grocery store, at like a little drugstore, and my dad was a left-hander, and way back when they tried to make lefties into righties. But this guy right here, Eddie Matthews, was a left-hander, and my dad liked Eddie Matthews because he was a left-handed hitter, and he remembers stocking the shelves at the drugstore, the little grocery store, when Eddie Matthews, that very first Sports Illustrated, came out with Matthews on the front cover. I think it was 1951 or 52. My dad would have been about 14 years old when that happened, and so he always liked Eddie Matthews. And then he went in the Navy in 1955. And during the summer, they took a bus trip up to Milwaukee to watch the Milwaukee Braves play. And my dad always remembers that he got to see a young Hank Aaron, but he got to see Eddie Matthews. And Eddie Matthews hit 2 home runs that day in 1955 for the Milwaukee Braves. And so my dad always told that story about seeing Eddie Matthews hit 2 home runs. And Matthews was one of his favorites, and I really didn't follow Eddie Matthews or his career or anything until I started collecting cards, and now Eddie Matthews is one of my favorite players. So my historical favorite team would be the Milwaukee Braves. Now, growing up, I first remember going to a baseball game in Milwaukee in 1971, and they played the Baltimore Orioles, and I can remember Boog Powell. Boog Powell was one of the names. I had a great-grandmother whose last name was Powell, and what kid wouldn't like the name Boog? I mean, so I remember going to that game in 1971 and against the Brewers and the Orioles. And you can see here, obviously, my favorite player for the Brewers was Robin Yount, and here's his rookie card, 1975, the regular size and the mini size. And Billy Parsons here in the middle on the 72 Brewers. This is one of my collecting favorites. I like to collect the Brewer players. And this is such a nice PSA 872 Bill Parsons. So I collect the Brewer players and from the 70s. So I was a big fan of the Brewers from 71 until really like about the mid-80s. I went in the Air Force in 1981. And so I missed being home for the Brewers in their 82 World Series. My grandfather was a big St. Louis Cards fan. And I know he would call every game after game with the Brewers and the Cardinals and talk to my dad about the game. And he talked to his other daughter who lived in Milwaukee. And so I was always a big Brewer fan all through the 70s and the early 80s. And Robin Yount was my favorite. But this Parsons card is just an example of the Brewer cards I do like to collect. Now, being in the Air Force, we traveled around quite a bit. I was in for 13 years. And I ended up in Pittsburgh area. And so I was always a Pirate fan because that P on their hat looked like the P on our high school baseball hats. Now, the town that I lived in was a little town in Wisconsin called Partyville. And we had a P in our hats that was very similar to the Pittsburgh Pirates design. Except for we were yellow and blue, but I think our hats had a blue helmet with a yellow P on it. But I remember the Pirates were always so good in the 70s. And Dave Parker was one of my favorite players. And here's his rookie card and then this 75 mini. But of course, Willie Stargell was the main man for the Pirates. And so I always did like Willie Stargell. I don't remember Roberto Clemente. Like I said, I was born in 62 and not being in the Pittsburgh area then, I really, my earliest baseball memories as far as teams go were the Oakland A's winning in 72, 3, and 4. But I've always been a Pirates fan. And in 2002, we moved into the Pittsburgh area. And so I am a Pirates fan. I try to go to a lot of games. There's my 2024 schedule. Me and my son, we enjoy going to a lot of baseball games for the Pirates. And so for me, my baseball fandom goes back really to the historical Milwaukee Braves, who I love to collect anything for the Braves, on to the Milwaukee Brewers in the 70s and the 80s, and now currently the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I really do like the 70s and the 80s Pirates. Such a good teams, and boy, go Buccos. It's been a long stretch since I've been living here, but I do enjoy going to the ball game, and so we get to quite a few Pirates games every year. So wanted to do this quick video response for Ol'Sarge and on the teams that we like and why. And again, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do. It's a great channel. A lot of interesting stuff on there. Guys, enjoy the hobby, and we'll talk to you later.